And welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nicomsat. Now the news in full. Edun spoke at a ceremony held to mark the first 100 days in office of Esther Wilson-Jack, head of civil service of the Federation in Abuja. Edun said the flow is now returning into the government's coffers for further deployment to the aforementioned sectors. President Tinubu had announcement removal of subsidy removal in May of last year. However, 3 months later, he had been reported that Tinubu was considering a temporary subsidy on petrol as crude oil prices and foreign exchange rates soared. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has advocated for a curriculum overhaul to boost skill acquisition and industrial development in Nigeria. Akpabio spoke through a representative at a retreat for National Assembly members, rectors, chairmen of governing councils, and other stakeholders in Abuja about the potential of polytechnics in driving innovation, drawing inspiration from global success stories like China and Europe. He pledged to enhance polytechnic capacity with enabling laws for sustainable development in Nigeria. Sudan President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has arrived in Nigeria from Brazil, where he attended the G20 Leaders Summit. The president had attended the summit in which he endorsed the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty. The Nigerian leader also held bilateral talks with Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, who praised reforms by President Tinubu. A delegation comprising the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuggar, the Minister of Livestock Development, and the Minister of Arts, Tourism, and Culture and Creativity accompanied Tinubu to the summit. Governor of Edo State, Monday Okpebolo, has granted Oba of Benin, Oba Ewuare II, full ownership rights over returned stolen artifacts. A statement issued by Fred Itua, Chief Press Secretary to the governor, says the state government is revoking the concession of Oba Akazua, the second cultural center, which was used as a motor park by the last administration. Meanwhile, Governor Monday Okpebolo of the Edo State has constituted a 14-man state asset verification committee to probe the 8-year tenure of his predecessor, Godwin Obaseki. A statement by the governor's chief press secretary, Fred Itua, says the panel, headed by a retired permanent secretary in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Dr. Enes Afolabi Omahihe, would be inaugurated on November 26, 2024. Itua says setting up a committee became imperative following governor's initiative to set the Edo State on a path of development and accountable leadership. He further noted that despite repeated calls for a more holistic database of the assets and liabilities of the previous administration, the Godwin Obaseki-led government allegedly came up with every scanty and limited asset and liabilities of the state. Governors elected on the platform of the main opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, rose from their meeting with a strong advice from the Umar Damagun-led National Working Committee to call for the National Executive Committee meeting of the party latest by February. Since August, the National Working Committee has announced multiple postponements of the National Executive Committee expected to discuss issues bedeviling the party and present a substantive national chairman of the party who will take over from Damagun and complete the tenure of the suspended Iheruchua. In April, the National Executive Committee was set for August 15, but was postponed to October 21st and then later rescheduled to November 28th before it was indefinitely postponed. Governor Bala Muhammad of Bauchi State, who is also the chairman of the forum, says it is aware of the concerns of Nigeria, PDP founding fathers, elders, and members of the party of seeming divisions within its ranks and files. Over now to the Northern Elders Forum has rejected the tax reform bill proposed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led executive, calling it a policy conceived in bad faith and warning that it threatens national cohesion. The group criticized the manner of its implementation, alleging that key stakeholders, including members of the National Economic Council, were sidelined during the process. Convener of the forum, Professor Ango Abdullahi, in a communique after the forum's Board of Trustees' second biannual meeting in Abuja, warned against dubious policies that could further marginalize the North's resource potential. The forum lauded the Northern State Governors Forum and the Northern Nigerian Council of Traditional Rulers for opposing the bill, describing their stance as patriotic, while urging Northern politicians in the National Assembly to speak out against it. Governor Alex Otti of Abia State says the government is taking pragmatic measures to rejig the state's security architecture. Mr. Otti said this on Saturday when he briefed reporters at the end of a Security Council meeting held at Vosi, Isala Igwe South local government area of the state. The government measures coming in wake of the 13th November deadly attack in troops of the Joint Task Force of the Southeast condemned Operation Udoka. Government had shot dead 3 soldiers during the attack in the Ezene Busy community of Umahia South local government area of the state. Governor Otti described the attacks on security personnel in the state as unfortunate, promising that positive and proactive approaches are being taken to address the state's security challenges. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has called on Tertiary Education Fund to extend its support to educational institutions under the Nigerian Air Force. He made the call when he paid a courtesy visit to Tertiary Education Trust Fund headquarters in Abuja. Ramsey Agbo has details. We apologize, that news will be brought in our subsequent bulletin. Following recent legal controversies surrounding the River State financial entitlement, the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation says it will adhere to court orders regarding disbursement of federal allocations to the state. The Director of Press and Public Relations at the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Bawa Makwa, said since there is notice of appeal and notice of appeal has overridden the earlier court judgment, and so far it is a court order that will be obeyed. The assurance comes amid Federal High Court ruling on October 30, 2024, which directed the Central Bank of Nigeria to withhold further monthly allocations to Rivers State. Now, reports gathered said 6 years after former Governor Ibikunle Amosun inaugurated the Metros Rice project with grand promises to revolutionize and position Ogun State agricultural landscape as a farming powerhouse, the 4 billion naira initiative lies in ruins. Investigations reveal that 2 abandoned rice mills sitting on 1.2 million hectares of arable land stand as silent monuments to the state's unfulfilled potentials. Former Governor of Ogun State, Ibikunle Amosun, had in 2017 inaugurated the Miss Rose Rice project and spoke with hope about the initiative. He said the initiative will align with the federal government's agricultural growth plan and transform Ogun into a powerhouse of industrial development. The Nigerian Labour Congress Yobe State Chapter has described a circular circulating on social media platforms urging Yobe State civil servants to initiate a statewide strike as initially false and unfounded. A statement signed by the state chairman of the NLC, Mukhtar Tabutu, noted that the joint committee comprising representatives from the government and NLC has successfully concluded negotiations on the new minimum wage. Now, the statement says reports have been submitted to Governor Malam Bunu for review and approval. In a landmark move to boost tourism and hospitality industry, Imo State government has signed a memorandum of understanding with Hilton Group with the aim of repositioning the state as a destination for both business and leisure. At the signing of the MOU in Owerri, the Imo State capital, Governor Hope Uzodinma said Hilton Group will manage Concord Hotel for the next 25 years, which forms part of the agreement. Here's Amarachi Ibe with the report.
The ongoing renovation of Concord Hotel was first inspected by Governor Hope Uzodinma and the Hilton Group to ascertain the level of work. The governor highlighted that the partnership with the Hilton Group would elevate Concord Hotel into international standard and will further boost the tourism potentials of Imo State.
I think we must encourage the inflow of people, traffic, to this place. What is more, if Hilton is operating this hotel, it brings Imo State name to the world map. It means that using the Hilton honors, you can decide, you can do business. It also means that you can sit any part of the world and make reservation using the facilities of Hilton Group. I don't think there is any better hotel chain, that can manage this hotel better than Hilton.
Governor Hope Uzodimma also said that the funding of the project was solely by the state government, which he said would cost an initial budget of 18 billion naira, with no plans to borrow funds for its execution.
The contract for the full rehabilitation of the hotel to Record Engineering to the tune of slightly above 18 billion naira. It is our hope that they will complete the project within record time. Our initial contract period was to be 12 months. But today they've confirmed to me that they will finish in 9 months.
The Senior Director of Development for Europe, the Middle East and Africa at the Hilton said the group was honored to collaborate with the Imo State government and look forward to lasting relationship with the Imo State government.
It's an honor to be able to have this opportunity to bring our world-renowned brand to Owerri. We are very much looking forward to a long-lasting, successful business relationship. Thank you. We're honored.
The event culminated in signing of the Memorandum of Understanding at the Government House, marking a significant milestone for the project. It is hoped that this new development will put Concord Hotel on track to becoming a world-class facility, reinforcing Imo State's position as a hub for tourism and hospitality in Nigeria. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News. The ongoing renovation...
Thank you, Amarachi, for that report. Islamic morality police in the northern Nigerian city of Kano are to resume their crackdown on betting shops after a Supreme Court ruling on gambling. The Nigerian Supreme Court has squashed a 2005 law that established a National Lottery Commission and legalized sports betting and gambling, ruling that gambling regulation is a matter for state government. Abba Shifu, the Director General of Hisbah in Kano State, one of the 12 predominantly Muslim Nigerian states in which Islamic Sharia is used alongside federal law, has said that the Hisbah will resume clampdown on betting shops with renewed determination since betting is illegal under Kano State Sharia law. The federal government said it is taking comprehensive steps to end insecurity in the southeast region. Minister of Defense Mohammed Badaru disclosed this in Imo State Government House where, when he paid a courtesy visit to Governor Hope Uzodimma, our correspondent Amarachi Ibe tells us more.
The visit came shortly after a high-level security meeting held in Enugu, where leaders discussed strategies to address regional security challenges. The Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badru Abubakar, said,
"We had meeting with his support in Enugu with all the security stakeholders, that is the youth group, the chiefs and the CSOs, all from the southeast, and we have robust discussions, and they have contributed very well on how we can improve security in the southeast."
Addressing pressmen after the visit, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodimma said, with the latest development, insecurity would be minimized in the zone.
I think we are coming almost to the end of the tunnel, and we will soon see light. The thing about insurgency, kidnapping, and all manner of criminalities in the southeast will soon become a thing of the past. As for the Yuletide, our people, the security agencies here, they are prepared and well equipped.
On his part, the General Officer commanding 82 Division Enugu, Major General Hassan Dada, called on the misled youths in the southeast to give up their arms and embrace peace.
We make sure that the youth try, just the way it took place last year, that it will be without crime or minimal level of crime within this festive period. And for all the youths that have been misled one way or the other with the latest development, they should please come forward, give up their arms, and allow peace to reign in the land. And we are there to support them. We will engage them and see how they can be useful to their own lives and make the society grow.
The visit by the defense minister signals renowned efforts to tackle insecurity in the southeast, as residents hope that this engagement will yield lasting peace and improve safety. From Government House, Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Marachi, for that report. A respected Islamic leader and retired public servant Alhaji Jafaru Markefi is dead. Markefi died in Kano, Kaduna, at the age of 93. Alhaji Suleiman Abdul Kadri, the Kongwan Zawzaw, who announced the death on behalf of the family, in a statement said he passed away on a Saturday night, explaining that the funeral prayer for the disease will be held at Sultan Bello Mosque. Late Markefi was a prominent figure in the Nigerian Muslim community and served as chairman of the Jama'atul Nasir Islam and JNI in the state, having also served as a commissioner in the defunct Kaduna state. He was a veteran of the Nigerian Railway Corporation (NRC), who joined the corporation in 1950 and had a distinguished career spanning over 4 decades. You're watching Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. When Midday News returns, ICPC says contractors yet to deliver projects worth 74 billion naira to Nigerians. Details of these, as well as foreign and sports stories, coming right after this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Midday News on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. On our business desk, Chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, Dr. Musa Aliyu, says the commission has tracked over 5,000 uncompleted projects since 2019, valued at 74 billion naira. Aliyu, who stated this after the Commission and Budget IT Foundation signed a memorandum of understanding to further enshrine integrity in the execution of policy-funded projects. He said that the Anti-Corruption Agency has directed contractors involved to return to site and ensure completion. Dr. Aliyu said ICPC will continue to hold defaulters accountable, just as it has arraigned others in the past, maintaining that the Commission and other relevant authorities will deal with any issues that Nigerians report regarding their constituency projects. The latest SBM intelligence and African-focused market and security intelligence gathering and strategic consulting firm Africa Country Instability Risk Index has classified Nigeria as valuable to instability in 2024. This marks a downgrade from its stable status in 2023, driven by economic challenges linked to government policies. Nigeria dropped 6 points this year, scoring 45 compared with 39 in 2023. A higher score in the risk index means a higher level of political risk to business. Other African nations sharing this risk status include Ethiopia, Comoros, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, and Togo, reflecting broader economic and governance concerns across the continent. Nigeria's deteriorating economic environment is worsened by factors such as rising food inflation, insecurity, and rising poverty level as the drivers of instability in the country. And still on our foreign news now, head of a leading international aid agency, war-stricken Sudan, is in danger of becoming another failed state because civil society is disintegrating amid a proliferation of armed groups. Jan Egeland, head of the Norwegian Refugee Council, as well as the two main warring parties in Sudan, the army and the paramilitary rapid support forces, there are many smaller ethnic armies looting and going berserk on civilians. For 19 months, there has been a brutal power struggle between the army and the RSF that has forced over 10 million people to flee their homes and push the country to the brink of starvation. In September, the World Health Organization, WHO, said starvation in Sudan is almost everywhere. Moving on in the news now, moving on to the sports news update, and the Madrid delegates is more optimistic than ever before the possibility of a Super League after European Court of Justice ruled last year UEFA and FIFA banning clubs from joining was unlawful. And as we end the midday news, let's take a quick look at our top stories again. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Adu, says Nigeria has saved $20 billion from petrol subsidy removal and market-based pricing of the foreign exchange rate. In business, chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, Dr. Musa Aliyu, says the commission has tracked over 5,000 uncompleted projects since 2019, valued at 74 billion naira. And finally, in sports, 6 men linked to Juventus and France midfielder Paul Pergay will face trial from Tuesday, accused of blackmail, attempted extortion of millions of euros, and holding the player at gunpoint. And that's it on Midday News, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free to air on Nicomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using a Global TV NG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.